and welcome back to Mommy Talk. This is where I like to talk about my life and all things mommy. And welcome to my 4-month postpartum update. Unfortunately, Zuko is taking a nap right now after a long day of just not really sleeping, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let him rest in the other room. So he is unfortunately probably not gonna be a part of this video, which is kind of like where my face is a mess right now and my hair, because sometimes in parenting you just don't always make it to the shower and you don't always get to put makeup on. So right now it is mom bun and no makeup for you guys today. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into Zuko's update because there is just so much to go over. So let's just go ahead and start with him. Zuko is 4 months and 2 weeks old today. So this is more of like a 4.5-month update. And I also thought that we could do it in front of the Christmas tree because it's a Vlogmas and it's close to Christmas and I like my tree because I think it's pretty. So this is what we're doing. We had Zuko's 4-month well child appointment last week, finally, after like 3 times of having to reschedule that due to like bad weather and sickness and then just like a whole other realm of reasons. Basically, it was pretty standard as far as well child checkups go. I never really know what to expect for his appointments just because obviously there's some special stuff that they have to do and keep an eye on him as far as like his heart and everything. However, we did get the call from his cardiologist, which I don't know if I have mentioned before or if maybe I mentioned it on my Facebook page, but we did get a call from his cardiologist and he did review his most recent EKG and his most recent echocardiogram, and he said that basically everything that he was seeing was basically good news, that, you know, things were looking a lot more normal for what they should be, and that his heart was, I don't know if it's necessarily shrinking, but it's definitely not growing anymore, so that's a really good sign. A summary of the phone call: he doesn't have to go back for another appointment until his 1st birthday just to check up on his heart again, so that is really great news. We're very excited to hear that, and obviously very relieved. Obviously any kind of good news is really exciting. And so for this update, she said that he was meeting all of his milestones and that my worries about him having a flat spot were basically nothing to be concerned about. She says that most babies do have a little bit of a flat spot on their heads just because obviously before they learn to sit up, they are spending a lot of time like laying down. And I do try to either like hold him upright or sit him upright or give him tummy time as much as possible, and that basically his flat spot was just like nothing to be concerned about. So thankfully she didn't see anything abnormal and he doesn't have to do any helmet therapy because I know that was something that I mentioned in my last vlog. As far as his weight update, he has not gained any weight. I actually think he might have lost a little bit of weight. So as of December 9th, he weighed in at 13 pounds and 2.4 ounces, and he has not grown in length either. He's still 24 ounces. So I really don't know. She didn't really seem concerned, but I didn't get to see the same doctor that I normally see because it always seems like that happens with these kinds of situations. The doctor that I normally see was like out on vacation until like January 2nd, and so I had to see like a fit-in doctor, sort of. Our breastfeeding relationship is still going really great, so he, you know, latch is perfect, and I thought he was gaining weight, but apparently he's not, but he's eating well, so at least there's that. At least I know that he's eating and hopefully he is getting enough, but until someone says that I should be concerned about it, I'm not really going to worry about it too much. Okay, so as far as how Zuko's sleep patterns go for 4 months, this has probably been one of the biggest challenges since he's been born. Like, obviously I love that little boy more than my own life and I would take a bullet for that kid, but he also makes me a little crazy because his sleep schedule is super inconsistent. He will sleep for like 20 minutes at a time, and a lot of times he'll do this like 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, where he'll be like awake for 20 minutes, start getting tired, therefore he gets really fussy and really cranky, and so then he goes to sleep finally after like a really challenging time of trying to put him to sleep, and then he'll sleep for like 20 minutes and then he's awake again. Or it's either that and he's like asleep for 20 minutes and then he's awake for 3 hours and then sleeps for another 20 minutes and then awake for 3 hours. So it's really like very inconsistent, but either way he's just not sleeping very often, especially during the day. It's a little bit better at night, and usually I can fit in like 1 4-hour stretch between like 9 or 10 all the way up to like midnight, or like sometimes 1 a.m., sometimes 2 a.m. Sometimes he'll sleep for like a really good period of time, for like 4 hours, like a 4-hour chunk. So that's really nice when that happens, but it doesn't happen every single night. So this is definitely something that I'm going to have to probably just like come to terms with, because sleep deprivation is just like a huge thing with me, and I'm tired all the time and I'm not able to get a lot done during the day, especially since, you know, I'm trying to divide my time between 4 different kids plus all my household duties, and that just requires being an adult. So that is just something that I will have to cope with, and hopefully it will get better as he gets older. Well, also in my last video, I talked about buying something called a snooza, which is basically one of those baby monitor alarm things. And so far I'd have to say that I'm pretty pleased with it. My experience so far has been pretty good with it. The alarm has only gone off one time, and that was actually within the first week that I started using it. And so it actually really caught me off guard because the alarm is a lot louder than I thought it would be, and it's definitely something that like scared the crap out of me. And if you guys don't know already, I co-sleep with Zuko, so he was actually sleeping right next to me, and before anyone says anything, I safely co-sleep. I have researched this extensively, and I really don't want any kind of drama or hate or anybody trying to like say anything. So moving on from that, the alarm did go off only one time. It caught me so off guard because obviously I was sleeping and it just scared me really bad. So I kind of like jumped at the sound of the alarm, which therefore in turn made Zuko jump. And so I don't know if that kind of startled him enough to start breathing again, or, you know, whatever it was that caused the alarm to go off, but it just is kind of like that one more thing that kind of makes me like really glad to have it. Well, I actually haven't used it in like a week because I couldn't find it, and I actually just found it again today. So I'm definitely going to be using that like every night because it's just something that gives me like peace of mind. I'm just kind of an overly paranoid mother anyway, so I'm definitely glad to have something like that. Okay, so kind of going on to Zuko's like likes and dislikes for 4 months. The first thing I'm going to start out with is me, because he is very attached to me, and I actually in the last maybe like week or two I've kind of seen him be more open to like other people holding him, but basically for the longest time, especially like right around like 3.5 months to 4 months, he was just like super duper clingy and just refused to let anybody else hold him but me. So I don't know if that's going to change a little bit as he gets older, but he's definitely like a mama's boy. He allows Cody to hold him, but that's pretty much like the only other person that's like allowed to hold him without him crying. He really loves his newborn swing. That's actually basically the #1 thing that we use for nap time. We were using the bouncy chair for a really long time because it vibrates and we could bounce it with our foot and could multitask with that. So that was something that we used for a really long time, but he is getting a little bit bigger now, so we don't use that as often anymore, but we still do use the newborn swing consistently like every single day. I have had 4 kids now, and only one of my kids didn't take a pacifier. I've given pacifiers to all of my kids, and Shaden took a pacifier for like the first 2 weeks of his life and then just refused to have a pacifier after that, and it was so hard to like comfort him and soothe him. A lot of times he was a very emotional baby and very colicky baby, so it was even harder to like soothe him and calm him. So I'm very glad that I have a source of comfort for, and that's a pacifier. He really only takes like the Nuck brand of pacifier, so I think it's like something about the shape that he really likes about that specific pacifier. He also is really good about sitting in his walker now, and actually within the past like week or two he has learned to actually like walk in the walker, so he really likes to sit up in that for short periods of time and is really interested in toys, can really track movement very well at this point. He loves to watch his brothers like run back and forth and play. That's one of his favorite things to watch. He just gets such a kick out of it and finds it so entertaining. He's a really fidgety baby too, so he often will just like, he's always like kicking and extending his legs like all the time, which I think is really great for like exercising and trying to strengthen those muscles. But he loves to like stand up on like my lap and like bounce up and down then, but it also can be really frustrating when he's like, especially when he's getting tired, and he's always just like kicking and extending his legs all the time. He also arches his back a lot, so it can be really hard to hold him sometimes. He'll often arch his back to like look up at me, and he doesn't really like to be sat still. Whenever you're sitting down with him like in your lap, or when you're holding him in front of your chest facing outward, he just like, if he's feeling agitated at all or tired or cranky or fussy, or even just sometimes just to do it, he'll like arches his back, and it can make it kind of challenging to hold him. He's also a very drooly baby. I don't always remember to put bibs on him all the time, and so when I do, I could probably go through like 3 outfits within just like a couple hours, because this like whole front part of his outfit will be really wet, and I don't want it to cause like a rash, so I go through a lot of outfits with him because he is definitely super drooly. People say that that's because he's teething, but out of all my 4 kids, Parker was another drooly baby, and he was drooly pretty much right from the get-go, right from like 2 months old, which Zuko started drooling probably around 2 months old as well. And it wasn't because he was teething, it's just because he drools a lot. That's just kind of who he is. So that's definitely something that I have to make sure that I keep on top of, changing the outfits and making sure that I put bibs on him. He also really loves bath time. Before I forget that, I forget to mention that in like every vlog, but he is such a water baby. I didn't get to give him like his first bath because they kind of gave him like his first bath in the hospital while he was still in NICU, but even ever since like he came home and his cord was already off by the time he came home, he has just absolutely loved bath time. As far as an update on like his hair color and eyes, I don't think I've talked about this at all, but when he was born with like kind of grayish bluey eyes. Obviously during his whole stay with NICU, I couldn't really tell what they were because he would either have to be like sedated or like a procedure, or he had like the blinders on for when he was jaundiced, and so I didn't really get to see kind of like what that was changing into. They have definitely darkened into that brown color that all the rest of my kids have, but they are not like dark like almost black eyes like I have and like my older 3 have. They are definitely more of a softer brown, and they have a ring of blue around it, so it's almost like they're blue but with a brown on top. That's like really the only way I can describe it. It probably doesn't even make a lot of sense, but that's just what the colors are. I can't really even like describe it any other way. He was also born with red hair, which has just, if you've been following me at all, you know that he was born with red hair, which I find absolutely hilarious because Cody and I are both dark-haired, Hispanic background parent that somehow against all odds have provided a redheaded offspring. That was another reason why I was so curious to know like what his eye color would be, is because I was wondering if he was gonna have like light hair and light eyes, and I also wondered if that would change at all. And he is so thin-haired right now that it's kind of hard to tell. In some lights it looks a little bit darker, like maybe it might change into brown, but it's very fair still. It's kind of like this golden blonde, red blonde kind of color. I'm still really excited to see if he'll keep his red hair because I have grown to just like absolutely fall in love with it, and it's just one of my favorite things. But I can still tell, especially like if he's in direct natural sunlight, it just is like this radiant golden red color, and I love it. I just absolutely love it. Look who woke up from their nap time. Hi everyone. He's a little bit sleepy still because he just woke up. He's smiling at his brother over there. He just is fascinated by his older brothers. Hi, right? Hi everyone. See, right now he like loves, I don't know if you can see, just like loves to just like stand up. Oh, let me pull on your hands a little bit. He loves to just like stand up like this on my lap. Look how big you're getting. Look how big you're getting. He's like so distracted by everything right now. What's over there? What do you see? Say hi. Hi everyone. You stay up for a second? What is that you're doing with your tongue? Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Can you look up there? Look, right up there. Hey. Hi. No, something over there. Something over there that he's fascinated with. Okay, just long enough to be in the video for a short minute. You want to come be in the video too? Alright, come sit down. Come sit down over here. Come sit here. Come sit in my lap. Alright, say bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Oh, you gotta do it here, bud. You gotta do it here. Come here. Do that again. Go like this. Mwah.